I'm out of Mount Shasta for good. My life is miraculous. I listed my house on a Friday. I had a buyer the following Friday in a market that's flat. This is how my life works. I can't live in that house anymore. I don't want to cry. Receiving the work that I did was hell. I mean, I mentioned in a video I had to die, experience that. I don't want to start shaking. So I can't go back there because I had to be in a really solitude space for the work to come through, because it comes through and I can't think this stuff up. I'm sitting in silence and a huge document has come through me, 1,500 pages, 7 volumes. That's all I know at this point. So Mount Shasta had to happen for me. I moved there October of 23 and a whole lot happened. First 2 books were published within a year. Second one was channeled. Man is Ruining His Own Nest came through in 2.5 weeks. It's the prequel to The Bridge. It gets you ready for what The Bridge is about. So Mount Shasta was a living hell for me, and I want to thank the angels for sending me Mel. When we meet people in our life, it's the time is now, and it's the time to give each other a gift. You're not there to get married, have sex with all the people you meet. No, you just do meet. You just exchange energy, and it's delicious. So I met Mel, and we've stayed connected. It was like this energy. It's like we had a transfer, and it was a gift. And so Mel left her life and moved on, looking all over for somebody to do a documentary of this experience in Mount Shasta. Of course, nobody's going to step forward to do one about death because nobody wants to hear what I have to say. Mel's boyfriend is doing it, and he happens to be in the industry forever. So there's no errors. I gave her a gift, and she told him while we were on the phone, the reason they're together is because of me. I lifted her, and she exploded, and she connected with the person who's going to make this documentary for me. So that wasn't even part of this video, but I'm putting it out there because there's no errors. When you surrender, you go through hell sometimes, but there's a reason. You're not going to die. It doesn't hurt, but it's scary, and it's something that's unheard of in our reality. I did a video years ago, and it was called We Don't Die. And I explained how we don't die. And it went, I don't know, some people looked at it, but then I did a follow-up about soul groups and pre-birth planning. And I said, how do I follow up a video about that? And I did. And there was over 8,000 people who've watched it because it's something we're curious and interested in, curious about. So that video, when I made it years ago, it's accurate to a point. In there, I talk about how we do this pre-birth planning and how we decide before we're born who's going to play what role, the mom, the dad, the aunt, the uncle, and the big catastrophe that's going to happen to Larry that affects everybody. This was the information I had at that time. And now that I know so much better, I want to kind of clean things up just a bit. We're all wrong. I mean, on my journey started 9 years ago in October. I was a normal operating human going, what is out there? I knew something was calling me. And I allowed it to show up. And when it showed up, because I surrendered, I said, I give you my life. And I meant it. I was no longer going to make decisions. I gave it to the sky. And the sky immediately said, go that way. So when you hear something, when you say I surrender, it's like, oh, it worked. So I have been on that path now for 9 years and 2 months. And I surrendered. And when you do that, it pulls you through your life that you're in right now, because you can't be here where I am and be holding hands with others. We come here into our bodies and we know our path and plan, but we created this reality that we're not supposed to have, to where you become a child in a family where they now own you. They have dominion over you. They tell you what is. And they wonder why there's suicide. We wonder why there's all this craziness. We wonder why there's people institutionalized, because they know so much more than we do. And they can't live and fit in this world where you're telling them about this. It's a complete farce, guys. Everything about this reality is wrong. It's all in my books, and I'm going to be sharing it nonstop because I've moved out, and now it's the process where I will be traveling and sharing this information. And the most important thing, when you are near me, when you feel my energy, there's not a negative niche in me anywhere. It's all pure love and light. My energy is through the roof, and people are very drawn to that. It's because I'm not icky in any way. I only can come from love because I'm not of this earth. You wouldn't be able to communicate with me right now at all if I was just spirit. If I'm just spirit, only people like me can hear. So you can't hear us. So I became spirit whilst living in me bag. I became a spirit living in my body by remembering that we're playing a role here. We're playing a game, but we've got all these characters we're playing a game in, and we think we have to participate with these characters till death do us part. And no, everything that we're doing is wrong. I mean, just even looking at marriages, guys. And you know what the biggest barometer is? How you think, the things you think about your partner, about what are they, whatever you're thinking about, what your kids are thinking, the things you think about, your friends, the things you think about them, the things you don't say out loud, they are thinking the same things about you. They are, but you guys can't tell the truth. My biggest shock coming out to the world is that I have no filter. I can't not tell the truth. I know too much. So in that video, I talk about how we play these roles with the family unit and how the family unit moves around and does things together and how we affect each other. What I did not know is that we come to do this. We come here to not have people tell us who we are, what kind of schools we need to go to, what kind of grades we need to get, what kind of anything that we have to go to preschool to be busy. We're so busy, we don't have time to go be who we are out in the desert, the forest. We're too busy. And we're too busy going to church on Sunday, the box with all the peeps you chat about. You never go to places where I go to talk to God. You've lost God, you all have. Everything in that video was true as far as that we do have meetings. You have one massive meeting with everybody, and everybody has a role that they're going to play in your life, such as Mel. When it's time, I will run into her. When it's time, she will do something for me. Boom, booyah, we gave the gift. You have an exchange because you need to. Sometimes you bump into somebody who's going to bump you into somebody else. It's a gift exchange. The time is right. When you're ready, it happens. But because we believe we're family units, we've kind of had to adapt a little bit over the centuries because you don't know you are an individual spirit. You think you're part of a family. You came out of something, a test tube, the sky, a vagina. You came out. That was the end of your role being connected to your arrival. Your spirit entered the body and you are ready to become who you are. But immediately you're told who you are by the syllabus of your life that was planned before you were even born. When they started starting a family and thinking about it, your plan was made. What school are you going to go to? What neighborhood are you going to, what are you going to dress like? God, Mom hopes it's a girl. And some of the biggest things, Grandma, when are you going to give me grandbabies? You treat these things like cats and dogs, but we're not. Cats and dogs are meant to be raised. And boy, we've made new animals out of those all over the place. Golden doodles, Labradorniesers, all over the place here. But we don't come here to do that. This is why kids commit suicide, because they feel such a fire. A pilot light is lit in you. Their fire is burning to go toward that thing they feel when they're born. But you're saying, no, you're going to go do this. Your fire will fight you the whole time. And I wish you would all remember you were once a child and you went through this, but somehow you forget. The thing that drove you is the thing that was killed from you, the thing that was taken away from you, because it wouldn't work in this neighborhood. It doesn't fit in this family. It's something, you can't be who you are because there's shame attached to it. And you also can never, ever, ever be honest with the people you love. You can't, because if you told them the truth, it would destroy everything. What do you mean you want to fill in the blank? They have plans for you and expectations, and you have to stay in that role your entire life. However much it hurts you, even though you become 12 every time you go see your mommy, you're not supposed to be in this cluster. You had a fire in your belly when you were born. And what I want to share to you, because you are in relationships with your family, your friends, your teachers, your leaders, your partner, and you call this love. This is called need. You can't be alone because you've been trained to be together with everyone. You have been trained to cluster, and if you're not with them, you can be with them. You got to be with them. You got to be with all these people, because if you're alone and you don't have something with power that you can do, you might think. You might go back in time and remember those things that ripped you apart that are still buried inside of you. Well, guess what? To get here, you got to let it go. It happened. It's over. The stuff you're keeping in your mind that you re-loop over, why? Why? Why do you keep that alive when you could just say, you know what, for a moment, I'm just going to, I'm going to be present, which I have done now for years. My journey started over 9 years ago. I would say complete presence was 8 years ago. And when you're completely present, you have no thought in your head. What he did to you, what that happened, all that stuff, when you broke that thing, when you lost your money, you don't think about it. Why would you? That brings you down, because this is the only moment you have. And so if you're right here, nothing hurts you, nothing haunts you. This is where you get to choose what you do next. Carry the mountain up the hill, or just float and be who you are. In this journey where I had to have multiple trust falls with God, you have to just say, I trust you. Because if you didn't, oh my God, the things that have happened. But it's like I just fall back and I have to be present, like it's all okay. Nothing is ever lost, ever. In your world it is. It's never lost. It always comes back around exactly at the right time. But when you are just present and silent, your body is still, you have no more disease, by the way. You have no ailments whatsoever, and you barely need food, but what you eat is yummy. But when you're just present and silent, you get your next step. And I've done all the charts. They're all over my stuff in my books. And your next step is one step. It won't make sense, but it will take you to the next thing. That'll be, oh my God. And then from there you go back to, and then you get one step, you take that step, and then another, oh my God. And then you go, But what you guys do, what I did, I was a normal operating human for all of my life, except for the last 9 years. You hear and you're planning, you're thinking, everything is structured and planned for the entire next whatever. But you can't plan. When you're planning and you're planning as a cluster, it's like, oh, you're so taking yourself away from where you're supposed to be, like intuitively guided. When you plan, an example that my kid, when I had one, before she was going to go to college, she was determined she was going to she wanted to get in the director program, and she was going to go work at Universal Studios in London, because that's where they filmed Harry Potter. And so knowing what I knew at that time, I sat her down and I said, here's the deal. If that is your zero pinpoint laser focus, all the things that were your next step that are like, hello, anybody there? Hey, they will never appear, because you are so thinking, this is what I want. Things that you think you want are going to keep you from your path. But when you shut up, as I have, and you allow yourself to be this with no people in your life, because we're all supposed to do this. If you leave them, you turn up the apple cart and they get to become this. Somebody's got to do this. But when you do this, you live in complete bliss. Bliss beyond your comprehension. No illness. You are abundant. You never fear for lack. You know you are provided before, because you are having this little body, which I'm in this body in this building where I'm at. But me is all around here, and that's what I live from, and I have for years since I moved to the Oregon coast. I was dropped to my knees in downloads and close to death during those moments, because your body has to be gone while you get a transmission from out there. And it doesn't happen like right now. It begins unfolding like a book as you go through the next phase of your life. So I have been in this space, and this is where we want to be. There is an end to a spiritual journey, but you have to leave the people. And don't do crystals, don't see a guru, don't do any of that. Just shut up. Go to nature and be. Just be. And you got to be for a while. Just be still. It's like letting the cobwebs clear. But I'm not going to go into it now. In my books, I explain, my first book, Becoming Immaculate, how to do this quickly. It took me such a long time to go through the process to where I became no longer a victim. I dropped all of my victim story like in 6 months, moved from Ohio to Washington. Poof, I was a new being, and a whole new life started because I allowed myself to unfold. And then that life, as I went through it, I was being pulled. And I kept going, because when I'm pulled, it's like my gut is telling me where to go. My gut has saved my life as a kid, all through my life. But by following that tug, moving to Puyallup, walking away from all of my friends, because it was just drama. It's like everybody's broken. All these wives, like they have no lives. Nobody has a life in these towns. It's they're being family and clusters, and they're so miserable. And you look at the husbands and wives, it's like, why are you married to this thing? It's like, you are this. And they're like a blob. Because you think you're supposed to stay there and be stuck. Well, all of my work, and especially, the bridge for sure, is going to explain you are not there. You're not supposed to be stuck. You're never supposed to marry. You're never, ever, ever supposed to sign a life contract. Ever. Because you can't know who you're going to be in 3 days. So just because we're young and the church prescribes it, the family rule prescribes it, law, you get married really young to have legal sex. And you know that. And the partner is mostly interchangeable, because we're not supposed to get married, because you start thinking about other people and how miserable you are with that person. But everything is in a comfort zone. Everybody agrees we all need to stay here. If there's one defector, it screws everybody's life up. Yeah, screw the pooch. And I know one family that's a poster family for this. I know a lot of families actually, but there's one that has just been like my muse during all of my writing. It's like, truly blows my mind. So I am using the body I was born with, but letting go of the ego, the stories, the thoughts, the hate, the anger, the jealousy, just feelings and emotions. And just saying, oh, it happened, I get over it. And you just become who you are. You get all your chakras in alignment. You just let them fire. You become who you are. That pilot light starts burning brighter and brighter, and you start remembering what you wanted to do when you came here before all these people started telling you what you are going to do. Oh, I feel so sorry for people with money. The kids they're screwed, but you guys actually need to get out of it more than anybody. But you're going to be the most satisfied, because you're going to realize all that abundance in cash. You're going to look at yourself and think, oh my God, I put so much stock in having that paper, which gives me more stuff, which is more burden to hold me down. I was just told, I'm pulling a Doreen Virtue. I don't know if you know who Doreen Virtue is, but she is someone who was all out woo-woo. She was a lot of the Hay House stuff, but she did tarot cards. She had this video channel with this guy, and she was magnificent. She was all about just making yourself your best self. And then That was like when I did the video that I was talking about. But then she had a God calling, and she went out and started throwing herself under the bus like, oh my God, I was so wrong. I was so wrong. Because we evolve, we grow through this process. And what we know when we're closer to human is because we're closer to human. But the more we are living with those on the other side full time, that's my only communication is with dead, the other side. They're not even dead. They're just spirit. You don't die. Many have never been on earth. Never. They're just, and this is the next big thing. How do you think new information comes to earth as it did with the tablets in biblical times? Pause this and think about it. How do you think you get information now on this planet? Because we don't have biblical folk coming down from the mountain. If you had them coming down, you wouldn't say, oh, that's our Jesus. They'd all be shot. So how do you think people get new information to save this planet that is on a course of complete destruction? It takes people that turn away from what's going on this planet completely. We remove ourselves from all of our stories and we isolate. It's so hard for me to fathom this, but in March of next year, I have been isolated for 4 years. No people. And you wonder how stuff comes here. I was in Mount Shasta, the root chakra. Magical things happen there. Ask anybody who lives there. I was in Mount Shasta. I was vacuumed there. I bought my house without even seeing it. And I already have a buyer a week after listing. It's just, my life is magic. But I had to go there. I was told I was being summoned in May of 22, so I knew something was going to happen. And I shared that with my friends too. I hope they remember, because I told them I was disappearing and I was being summoned and none of us had a clue. So my being summoned was to the mountain to receive the bridge. Stacy knows it's here. Jill, a lot of them, they were part of the messages on the way saying it was coming, that I had to be here and be still. So this is how information comes to the planet. There's a lot of people out there who've talked to God and had conversations with all kinds of angels and messengers and everything, but they're still living as humans. And I haven't for years. When I share this, it's like, it's not for pity. It's like, I'm not sad, but like I mentioned last night, this is my 4th year without holidays. It's like, but they don't matter. It matters in your world because you've had all these expectations since you were a child on what they represent. But when you step back and you like, let that all go, like, okay, all these people just expect things from each other because it's Valentine's Day and my anniversary and is it paper or gold? But when you take a step back and like, okay, be present in the mountains on a lake somewhere far away from humans with no phone. Just what is real? All of those people, how they make you feel. If you can't be honest with people, if you can't say, you know what, I really don't want to go, but please love me still. But they can't because you're expected to do it. If you can't say no to things that you keep saying yes to, that's on you, but that's causing disease in your body. Every time you tell a lie to them, another colostomy bag. Every time you don't tell the truth. And none of you tell the truth. I only tell the truth, and that's why I blow people's minds. I can't not tell the truth because I don't remember how to go back into a story and go, okay, how do they need to receive this? Because they're super, super sensitive. Why would I ever do that? You wouldn't want to do it. When you get here, the end of the spiritual journey, you have risen above the earth. You look like the ascended people floating in the sky because your spirit is light years beyond this earth. I work with God full time. I'm the land agent. I'm boots on the ground, complete connection, and the book that I've written is going to blow your mind. But I have to have a skin bag for you to hear me And over the last 25 plus years, I've been trained for this, more than that, actually. Bob Kenny with Marketing Force. He put me through Dale Carnegie because I could not have done this. I couldn't have done radio without Dale Carnegie. I couldn't say my name in a group. And then I was in radio 25 years. I was introducing people on stage. I was running shows on stage. I've done it all because that vision I had when I was that little thing that remembered, the thing you're saying you don't remember, but you do. I saw myself on stage with thousands of people listening. A lot of times I thought I'd be performing, singing, but then I'm like, no, that would be very much about my ego. But it's always been clear to me that I was bringing a message. I didn't know how I was going to get it. I didn't know what. Later, I just knew I was going to be a motivational speaker, but I didn't know how I could motivate because I didn't know what I was talking about. Like the previous video I made. Yeah, there's no way then I could have known what I know now. I had to go through hell. I had to die. I had to lose everything. I had to be on the rock bottom for 3.5 years. But now I'm out and we're pushing forward. That's why I'm still in, but I'm just not in Mount Shasta. My house sold. We're doing it all quickly because I can't go back there. You can never go back. Anything that has a memory, that is a pinch, don't go back, because why would you? We are fluid. We are energy, but we are in bodies. The body, death isn't real. These whole ceremonies we have and all this stuff about the body dying is like, oh God, what we waste our time and money on. None of it's real. I think I covered everything that came through, but it's been quite a journey. I'm in a new city now, which feels delicious. And it's close to an airport because I will be traveling all over the world. I'm going through the transaction of my house. I'm going to find where I'm going to land here and bring my art. And then off I go. And then I'll get this book done, get it published. I'm doing everything everywhere all at once. Everything in my life is being stirred right now. Everything that's unfinished is finished. It's moving on. And now I float to this new dimension where I am now going to be who I am where I live. I had to become this in Mount Shasta. The book will explain the level of hell I went through. I don't think about it. I don't even remember. It's just like I remember it was hell. It was hell. But it's over. This is all forward moving for me now. You guys are keeping it up. You're keeping each other hostage. You're holding guns at each other's heads saying, you stay here for me, or this is going to happen to me. Oh, wow, threaten me. You've got to reach out to you and do you. We're never abandoned when somebody leaves. That person, mommy and daddy, did they go to leave, find themselves? Yes, congratulations, they found their calling. Not, oh, he left us, we're broken, we can't do this anymore. We are all strong. We are unlimited. We've created a world of completely limited little beings that we think we have a capacity for stuff. I do have a capacity for one thing now. Food. I can't eat. I have a few bites, but they're good. It's like you don't need the things you think you need. So it's like your pyramids and all that if you don't do the pyramids, suddenly you're fat because you believe it. I could go on forever. It's all in my books. Someday I'll have money and I'll publish the rest of them. But don't hold each other hostage, because if you were honest with yourself and you said, Mom, Dad, Larry, Susan, Uncle, whoever you're beholden to, you believe you're beholden to, sit them down and say, here's what's happening. I've had thoughts of suicide, all these things that you have, because you're in a rut and you're not feeling fulfilled, especially if you're on your parents' couch getting paid to stay there. You're not fulfilled. And so, although you love them all because You don't know what love is. That's a whole nother topic. You need them. If one person in each cluster found the balls to say, or not even say just go, but when I say go, I mean go all the way. And this is for suicide people too. It's like, if you think you're going to end it, do this instead, because I guarantee you're going to have a better outcome. Well, I promise you will, and you won't have to do this again. When it gets to that point where you're feeling, and you're looking at those things that happen to you, and those feelings, you're like a volcano, you're about to just erupt. Before you get to that, when you start going, oh, this is surfacing, get out. Buy a ticket to somewhere you've dreamed about. Don't care about money, because money doesn't matter when you're dead. Take what you need. Take a loan for $10,000, because trust, you've never been there. You can't know what it's going to be like. But that intuition is going to take you to your next step. It might be waiting for you once to get off the plane. But if you don't take that next step, just step away from everyone and trust that they're all just stuck in a story like you were. When you jump out, you're going to find yourself, and you're going to be like me. You're going to find your way. And now you have me to help you. I'm building centers all over this globe. That's where the money's going to go, for people to escape from that family. And they can come and immediately get to this. It took me years. And then my just leaving, when I left when I left Ohio, I had been 6 months clean of family drama. I literally let go of all what happened to me. It was gone. It was like, wow, releasing it felt good. None of that drove my bus any longer. I was the solo driver of this train, man. And once you do that, it's like you follow the path. But when things feel icky, don't stay in it. As soon as you jump out, the icky's gone. And that's you staying stuck in stories, especially when you're in these families with comfort zones to where you all want to go have your life, but anyone who is the one that defects, you're going to destroy, especially the fragile figure. But you're going to upset the apple cart. Like when my grandpa died, everybody goes to hell. Oh my God, that's exactly what you need. You realizing you're going to follow your path, and that's the most important thing. You step into it and you leave them because they're just going to try and pull you back. You're going to be free. You're on the way. We're going to be in touch. But you upset that apple cart. So now they're all looking at life differently. You saved the family because you're not supposed to be one, number one, but because they are individual souls who also have an instruction manual within. That's what we have. Nobody has our manual but us. Your mama, she doesn't have your manual. She doesn't. You have it. She's got hers, but she's got that baby locked away. You have everything you need. I hope I'm closing, but I knew this was going to come up. And I'm just asking you to take pause and think. No, sit silently and let what these words said come through to you and what you need to hear. Don't think. Don't ever think. Go sit, look at a tree, and allow it to come through. You're told as a toddler, you look at the fairy tales, you see the kids fantasizing the women about the dream day when they're the princess. And these women in the world now, they expect that day to be beautiful. Don't. Because the men are interchangeable. But you've created women by these fairy tales that they want that big Cinderella freaking wedding. Let's let that go, because that's stupid in so many ways now. But you're not even supposed to get married. So ladies, just have yourself a big party. Wear a big dress if you need people to look and say, oh, she's so pretty, if you need that. So because of these fairy tales, little girls and princes, boys, it's like they fantasize about these big days. Little girls play house. Oh my God. I remember seeing that in school thinking, who would ever want to pretend like they're in their home? Mine was hell. I couldn't understand playing house. It would be a little violent game. But we go through this path romanticizing, family, going to raise a family, going to pop babies out, and we're going to raise them. All of these things that we believe. And then you're supposed to get married for life. That's the plan. till death us do part, sickness and in health. You believe this because it's all that's been done for centuries. It's been religion, it was business, it's not true. You can't do anything for life. So you do all this and they say, yes, get married for life at 16, 17, 18, 19, 21. And then give us babies. To a stranger for the rest of the days you breathe. Okay, that makes sense, right? Your family encourages it. But what if we inserted into the law of being raised in your human function, somewhere between born and free this whole time to do what they want, and then you guys just sit back and shut up and let them be who they are. Say when they're 13, 10, I'm sure I'll change my mind on this down the road, my knowledge. You send them away, not to boarding school. You send them to South Africa and you give them 6 months, put them up. They're comfortable, they're cozy, but they can't talk to anyone back home at all. It's cut off. They're like witness protection. They don't exist in your world and none of you exist in theirs. 3 months, 6 months to go away. We would never, ever, ever do that. And you know darn good and well why. Because when you're not there influencing the puppet, no, we're going over there. When you're not there to tell them who they are, and when they're away from all the things that they were told they are, and they go somewhere where people are completely different, I'm proud to report they will never talk to you again because they will find who they are. And why would you not want them for that? Why would you not want that to happen for them? Because you're holding each other hostage. You believe they are beholden to you because they have a role in your fill in the blank. We are spirit born in these bodies with no pockets, not holding hands. We're here to find our journey. You're to have many lovers along the way. I highly recommend you read the 10 Commandments as they were rewritten in Man is Ruining His Own Nest. Go to Amazon.com and look at the sneak preview. That's how we are supposed to have relationships. When you feel the butterflies, when you can't stop touching each other, that is love. That is that powerful God-given gift because every bit of it is magical. And when it starts not being fun, even a little, you use these words. Oh my God, that was so cool. That was such a ride, but clearly we're backing down. So like blessings to you and great journey because you're both on to something else. You'd never do that in your world, but that is the only thing you're supposed to do. So I live on the other side of the bridge. I have since I've written it and experienced hell in ways you can't comprehend. So I'm on the other side now. And everything, everywhere, all at once is happening. And I love that because from being still and silent in Om for so long, I feel life again. I haven't had life or felt life. I do, and I love where I'm living. I love exploring it, and I'm glad I'll be traveling because I would get tired of it, I think, if I was here too. I think anywhere because I've been moving so much over my life. This is number 104 when I find my next place. But we're supposed to be fluid. All right. You have a plan and an instruction manual. Get away from everyone, shut up, and let it start coming through. Be present. Stop thinking. Allow thoughts to come through. Trust that it's so good on the other side of the bridge where I live, where you're abundant, you need for nothing. Trust yourself that you made a great plan for yourself. It's so much more magnificent than you can comprehend. Trust you did. Trust that you did that. And step onto your treadmill. Mine was like a wormhole in Finding Nemo. I was just sucked through that vacuum tube so fast. Get on it. Let it pull you through. Don't let anything stop you. They're all going to be grabbing at you from afar. They'll look like demons. Trust you'll find the way. And what I've done helps you get here lightning fast. That's what the Essentials will do. I'm Cari Palmer, and I'll see you on the road.